The annual session of the Congress was held at Lahore in December 1929. During this session, presided over by Jawaharlal Nehru, the Congress passed the Purna Swaraj resolution. Moreover, as the government failed to accept the Nehru report, the Congress gave a call to launch the civil disobedience movement. In the prevailing atmosphere of restlessness, the annual session of Congress was held at Lahore. Annual session was held at Lahore in December 1929. Lahore in December 1929. During the annual session in Lahore in December 1929, presided over Jawaharlal Nehru, the Congress passed the Purna Swaraj resolution. In 1929, Purna Swaraj resolution was passed. Moreover, as the government failed to accept the Nehru report, Congress gave a call to launch the civil disobedience movement. After the Indian National Congress authorized Gandhi to start civil disobedience movement, he placed 11-point ultimatum to Irwin, 31st January 1930, for administrative reform, and stated that if the ultimatums are ignored, the only way out was civil disobedience. After Indian National Congress authorized Gandhiji to start civil disobedience movement, he placed 11-point ultimatums to Irwin, 31st January 1930, for administrative reform, and stated if the ultimatums are ignored, the only way was civil disobedience. Gandhiji also informed of his decision to undertake Dandi Satyagraha, wherein the law of the government would be violated. The list of demand consisted the following: demand of farmer, reduced rate of land revenue, abolition of salt tax, and end of government monopoly over salt. Number 1, reduce the rate of land revenue. Number 2, abolition of salt tax and end of government monopoly over salt. Demand to accept the postal reservation bill. Change the ratio between the rupee and the sterling. Impose custom duty on foreign cloth. Demand of public: reduce the military expenditure. Reduce expenditure on civil administration. Prohibit intoxicants. Abolish the CID department. Release all political prisoners. Issue license of arms to citizens for self-protection. Reduce military expenditure. Reduce expenditure on civil administration. Prohibit intoxicants. Abolish the CID department. Release all political prisoners. Issue licenses of arms to citizens for self-protection. Gandhi made it clear that if the 11 points are ignored, the only way out was civil disobedience. Breaking the salt laws of the government non-violently was the basic activity of civil disobedience. So Gandhi made it very clear that if 11 points are ignored, the only way out was civil disobedience. Breaking the salt laws of government non-violently breaking the salt law was the basic activity of civil disobedience. Along with this activities like no tax campaign, no revenue, no rent, land tax campaign became very popular in different parts of the India. That means, along with non-violent way of violating the salt law of the government, no payment of rent, no revenue payment, no tax campaign became very popular in different parts of India. The 11 points ultimatum of Gandhi to Lord Irwin, after being ignored by the British government, made Gandhiji to launch the civil disobedience movement on 12th March 1930 with his famous Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on Gujarat coast. On 6th April, Gandhiji reached Dandi, picked up a handful of salt and broke the salt law as a symbol of India's people's refusal to live under British-made laws and therefore under British rule. The 11-point ultimatum of Lord Irwin, that was already discussed earlier in this earlier part of the video, after being ignored by the British government, made Gandhiji to launch the civil disobedience movement on 12 March 1930. 12 March 1930 was the day on which civil disobedience movement was launched. With his famous Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on Gujarat coast, on 6th April Gandhiji reached Dandi. On which date Gandhi reached Dandi? 6th April Gandhi reached Dandi, picked up a handful of salt and broke the salt law as a symbol of Indian people's refusal to live under British laws and therefore under British rule. The movement now spread rapidly. Violation of salt laws all over the country was soon followed by defiance of forest law in Maharashtra, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Central Province, and refusal to pay the rural chokidari tax in eastern India. Movement spread all over India. Forest law, defiance of forest law in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Central Province. Refusal to pay the rural chokidari tax in eastern India. People joined hartals, demonstrations, and the campaign to boycott foreign goods and to refuse to pay taxes. In many parts of the country, the peasants refused to pay land revenue and rent and had their land confiscated. A notable feature of the movement was the wide participation of women in northwestern province. In northwestern province, under the leadership of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, popularly known as Frontier Gandhi, the Pathans organized the Society of Khudai Khidmat Guards or Servants of God, known popularly as Red Shirts. They were pledged to non-violence and the freedom struggle. In northeast, Rani Gaidali raised the banner of rebellion against the foreign rule. The government resorted to ruthless repression, lathi charges, and firing. Over 90,000 satyagrahis, including Gandhiji and other Congress leaders, were imprisoned and Congress declared illegal. The first roundtable conference was held in November 1930 at London. It was boycotted by Congress. In January 1931, in order to create a conducive atmosphere for talks, the government lifted the ban on the Congress party and released its leader from the prison. On March 1931, Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Delhi Pact was signed. Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Delhi Pact was signed on March 1931. On 8 March 1931, Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed due to the efforts of Sir Tej Bahadur Sapru, Dr. Jayakar, and others to bring about a compromise between the government and the Congress. The government agreed to withdraw all ordinances and end prosecutions, release all political prisoners, restore the confiscated property of the satyagrahis, and permitted the free collection or manufacture of salt. The Congress in turn agreed to suspend the civil disobedience movement and to participate in the second roundtable conference. In September 1931, the second roundtable conference was held in London. Mahatma Gandhi participated in the conference but returned to India, disappointed as no agreement could be reached on the demands of complete independence and on the communal question. Second phase of the movement. On his return to India after the second roundtable conference, Gandhiji resumed the civil disobedience movement in January 1932. Resumption of civil disobedience movement in January 1932, but the movement was brutally suppressed by forces. The Congress was declared illegal again by the government and it arrested most of the leading Congress leaders including Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel. Movement was gained strength when it was suddenly sidetracked with the announcement of Congress Communal Award 1932 by British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald, which recommended number 1 to double the existing seats in provincial legislatures, number 2 to retain system of separate electorate for the minorities, number 3 to grant weightage to Muslim in provinces where they were in minority, number 4 to reserve 3% seat for women in all provincial legislatures except in Northwest Frontier Province, to recognize depressed classes as minority community and to make them entitled to the right of separate electorate. Number 6 to allocate seat to labor, landlords and traders and industrialists. Gandhi reacted strongly to the proposal of granting the right of separate electorate to the depressed classes. He regarded the depressed classes as the integral part of the Hindu society. He thought what was required was not protection of the depressed classes but root and branch eradication of untouchability. He had pinned his hopes for the welfare in the firm belief that the Hindus would do full justice to fully integrate them within their fold. He demanded that the depressed classes be elected through a joint and if possible a wider electorate through universal franchise. To persuade the recalcitrant Ambedkar to accept his viewpoint, Gandhi then in the Yadawada jail resorted to fast unto death. In an anxiety to save his life, the Pune Pact with the following main terms was concluded between him and the Ambedkar on 25 September 1932. Number 1 seats were to be allotted to the depressed class in the provincial legislature as against 71 promised by communal award and 18% of the total in central legislature. Number 2, adequate representation for the depressed class in civil services. Number 3, Ambedkar also accepted the principle of joint electorate. Number 3, Ambedkar also accepted the principle of joint electorate. Third roundtable conference was scheduled to be held in London 1932. The Congress did not participate in it. Discussions led to the passing of the Government of India Act 1935. Later, movement gradually waned. Congress officially suspended the movement in May 1933 and withdrew it in May 1934. Significance of civil disobedience movement. It had the objective of achieving complete independence. It involved deliberate violation of law and was evidently more militant. There was wide participation of women. It was not marked by the same Hindu-Muslim unity which was witnessed during non-corporation movement. Comparison with non-corporation movement. Launched to attain Purna Swaraj and not merely to remedy wrongs. It involved deliberate violation of law and not merely non-corporation. In initial phase, urban people participated, but it spread to rural areas where it gained its maximum strength. Little Muslim and labor participation. Women participated on a large scale to picket shops. Gandhi's Harijan campaign. Gandhiji withdrew from the civil disobedience movement to focus on Harijan welfare. After the Pune Pact, Gandhi started an All India Anti-Touchability League and weekly newspaper Harijan. Harijan welfare work by Gandhians indirectly helped to spread the message of nationalism down to the most oppressed section of rural society. Gandhi confined the Harijan campaign to limited social reform, opening of wells, roads, particularly temples, plus humanitarian work, delinking it from any economic demands. Though many Harijans were agricultural laborer and also refusing to attack caste as a whole, the Harijan movement was formally withdrawn in April 1934. Impact of CDM. The Congress swept the poll in most provinces in 1937. The left alternative emerged, for movement had aroused expectation which Gandhi's strategy could not fulfill. At the level of leadership, Nehru and Bose voiced the new mood, emphasizing the need to combine nationalism with radical social and economic program. Some Congress activists formed a socialist group within the party in 1934. Kisan Sabhas with anti-Jamindar programs developed rapidly in provinces like Bihar and Andhra. Congress Socialist Party 1934. Congress Socialist Party or CSP was a left-wing group within the Congress. It was formed with Acharya Narendra Deva as president and Jay Prakash Narayan as general secretary in 1934. The rise of this party was due to the increased left influence in the Indian National Congress. By 1935, one-third of the Congress members were Congress Socialist. These leaders rejected the idea of Gandhi, which they saw as anti-rational. Though they remained active in the workers' and peasants' movement, they rejected the sectarian attitude of the Communist Party of India. They were influenced by Marxist Leninism. The members ranged from the advocates of armed struggles to non-violent resistance. The ideals of this party was decentralized socialism, in which a substantial share in the economic power of cooperative, trade unions, independent farmers and the local authorities. Some important points. J.P. Narayan was lodged in the Nasik jail in 1932 for civil disobedience against British rule. Here he met with Ram Manohar Lohia, Mino Masani, Achyut Patwardhan, Ashok Mehta, Yusuf Desai and other national leaders. After his release in 1934, J.P. Narayan convened a meeting in Patna, which founded the Bihar Congress Socialist Party with Narayan as General Secretary and Acharya Narendra Deva as President. On October 23, 1934, another conference was held in Bombay where they formed All India level Congress Socialist Party with Narayan as the General Secretary and Masani as Joint Secretary, the Acharya Narendra Deva as President. The greeting comrade was used in the new party. Masani mobilized the party in Bombay. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay and Purushottam Trikam Das organized the party in other parts of Maharashtra. The CSP was not separate from Congress. Its constitution defined that the members were all required to be members of the Indian National Congress, members of communal organization or political organization whose goals are incompatible with the ones of the CSP were barred from CSP membership. Many communists joined the CSP and adopted Marxism in 1936. They had a conference on the sidelines of the Fazpur conference and then propounded a doctrine that was aimed to transform the Indian National Congress into an anti-imperialist front. Thus, emergence of the CSP had a long-lasting impact on the politics of the Congress for many years to come. Election of 1937 and formation of Congress ministries. The demise of the civil disobedience movement around 1934 resulted in serious dissension with Congress in the same way it had happened after the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement. While Gandhi temporarily withdrew from active politics, the socialist and other leftist elements focused in May 1934. Congress Socialist Party within Congress, Nehru never formally joined this group, whose ideology ranged from vague and mixed up radical nationalism to fairly firm advocacy of Marxian scientific socialism. Soon divide with Congress centered on two issues: council entry, office acceptance. So that's all about this video. If you find it useful, like, share, subscribe.